One of the major problems that confronted writer Richard Brooks when he adapted Maxwell Anderson's play for the screen was its climax. The play's stage-bound conclusion was, shall we say, less than cinematic. Huston wanted to open up the action, take it from the hotel right into the storm, and give Frank McCloud a heroic finale befitting a star of Bogart's stature. Well, he found the solution in a novel by another notable writer, Ernest Hemingway. Huston had Brooks graft the climax of Hemingway's novel To Have and Have Not onto Key Largo's final act. Clever idea, since Warner Brothers already owned the rights to the novel, which, of course, was the basis for the first film to feature Bogart and Bacall back in 1944. What Huston didn't know was that the novel would be brought to the screen again the following year by Warner's, with John Garfield as boat jockey Harry Morgan turning the tables on a crew of crooks he's supposed to ferry to safety. Now, the ending of this film might not have taken audiences by surprise, but there's certainly one scene that made moviegoers gasp. By 1948, audiences had become used to seeing Lionel Barrymore in a wheelchair. The veteran actor, John Barrymore's older brother, had been a fixture on stage and screen for decades. But by the late 1930s, a serious hip injury, coupled with severe arthritis, confined him to a wheelchair, in which he played his most famous roles, Dr. Gillespie in the long-running Dr. Kildare film series, and the evil Mr. Potter in Frank Capra's It's a Wonderful Life. For audiences in 1948, the most shocking moment in Key Largo was when Barrymore collapses after struggling out of his wheelchair trying to get at Johnny Rocco. Claire Trevor's pathetic rendition of Moanin' Low is another memorable scene. She once confided to me that she was terrified of singing on camera. The crew was coming back from lunch when Trevor asked Huston when she'd get to rehearse the number in the music department. "You don't," he said. "We're shooting it right now." Trevor had figured she'd have a singer dubbing her, but Huston knew her very real anxiety would give the scene an extra edge. It ended up winning her an Oscar.
Moaning low, my sweet man, I love him so.
Okay, here's a quiz. Which performer in today's film would end up making the most dough in Hollywood? Well, Claire Trevor made out like a bandit when she married real estate developer Milton Bren, who built most of Orange County. And Lauren Bacall certainly did all right for herself, although she continued working right up till the end. But nobody did as well as Harry Lewis, who played Rocco's henchman, Toots Bass. Lewis was a bit player in dozens of pictures, but in 1950, he and his wife Marilyn borrowed $5,000 to open up a hamburger joint on Sunset Boulevard, which became a favorite of local celebrities and regular folks. The Hamburger Hamlet grew into a thriving chain, which the Lewises finally sold in 1987 for $33 million. And just to show you that everything that goes around comes around, a new stage version of Key Largo will be premiering this year at the Geffen Theater in Los Angeles, based on the movie, not the original play. Veteran screen actor Andy Garcia will play the role made famous by Edward G. Robinson. Now, if you've got ideas about who'd be good in the other roles, tell us about it on the Noir Alley Facebook page and Twitter feed. Just don't expect a producing credit if you happen to guess right. And Humphrey Bogart will be back next week, and he'll still be in Florida, where he goes hunting for the killers of his paratrooper pal in 1947's Dead Reckoning, co-starring Elizabeth Scott. She plays, you guessed it, a husky-voiced chanteuse, who may or may not be a femme fatale. And here's a final birthday shout-out to the late Richard Brooks, writer and director of dozens of great films, including Deadline USA, Blackboard Jungle, Elmer Gantry, Lord Jim, The Professionals, In Cold Blood, Looking for Mr. Goodbar, and many more. It was a hell of a career. And now I'm going to go hoist one in your honor, Mr. Brooks. Cheers.